Brakat Yahweh, Brakat Yahushai, Brakat Yahweh, Brakat Yahushai, Brakat Yahweh, Brakat Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Chak, the ones, the apostles, and the elders of great millstone with true well. Salutations to the hopefully like that day, you Akim, to Dakim, that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. On the pre-Shaman, this week's topic is going to be entitled, This Devil Got Some Weapons, man. Right? This devil got some weapons. And what inspired me to do this lesson was Osman Gold was reacting to this thing they had on the internet where a soldier that was involved in the guarding of Nicolas Maduro, he was describing what happened when the United States came and captured him. And he was pretty much saying, like, they was on post, you know what I'm saying? They was on post, they was ready. And all of a sudden, all their radar systems just shut out. Everything went completely black. And they got hit with sonic weapons. Some sort of weapons that was just neutralizing them. They said, like, you know, nobody was hurt. But they was hitting them with weapons that was fucking them up, making their brain hurt, all that. And he was pretty much saying, like, the way they did it and the weapons that they use, you know, I'm pretty sure it's going to be talked about all throughout. And that you know, that, yo, he's like, yo, do not fuck with the United States, pretty much, you know what I'm saying, because they got some shit. And then they go on to even show some of the lasers from the ship. Like, they got laser beams on ships, which that's not new, but they were showing it. And then Osman Gold, the guy that was commenting on it, he made a good point. He said, and this is what they're allowing you to see. So imagine the shit that they're not allowing you to see, because, you know, one thing with the military is, you know, the weapons that they, or even a lot of the devices that we issue out to the public, the military had it like 30, 40 years ago. You know, a great example is the Blackbird. That's from like the 50s. The shit was able to deploy drones, and drones didn't really come mainstream amongst the public to the latter 2000s. You know what I'm saying? So that's just one example. Cell phones is another. You know, they have a lot of shit. You know, the thing you see in Iron Man where he's touching like haptic holograms, they got all that shit, man. You know, this devil got a lot of technology, but when it comes to the sword, you know, that's just the so-called white man's blessing. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 39. It says, and Isaac, his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. It says, and by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Right. So that's one of the blessings that Isaac, which was Yahushua, gave Esau. All right. When Jacob supplanted the birthright, which was set up in the spirit to happen anyways. The birthright was always ours. But when it comes to the sword and destruction, the so-called white man is a master class. He's a master at that, all right? So, and the word sword just means an instrument of destruction. So they have missiles, you have bullets, you have sonic waves. So, and we always say that to you, Israelites out there, all right, that, you know, you're forming your boot camps and all this type of shit. Like, you know, you ready to go toe-to-toe with the so-called white man on that level. Going all the way back to the Roman Empire, anytime Jake tries some shit like that, the Most High call him that real quick, you know? So that's not the route. The route is to wait upon the Lord for obvious reasons. Book of Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 8 says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms. It says that I may assemble It says, my determination is to gather the nations that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Right. So, look, the Most High got this man to where he is, period. You know what I'm saying? The weapons, all this crazy shit we talking about, that wisdom of the, to master the elements and create laser beams and sonic beams and all this type of shit that could just attack and weaken people. That was all the Most High. The scriptures tell you in the book of Isaiah 54:16 that I created the smith that blows the coal in the fire. The ancient world smith, he's the one that would craft swords and do all this type of things, all right? For instruments of war, the Most High is always behind it. You know what I'm saying? In fact, what was that? Exodus 15:3 tells us that the Lord is a man of war. All right, so the Most High is with war, okay, and setting up pieces and moving them around on the chessboard. And right now, and at least in this current time, the Most High said when it comes, okay, who's going to be like the top piece on the board when it comes to instruments of destruction? It's going to be the so-called white man, and the nation that's going to head that is the United States. Okay? And this is why the Most High is going to have these nations join together, because they also got some shit, but it's just not on the same level. That's how come they do espionage and they steal other weapons and stuff. China is known for that. China is known for taking weapons and reversing engineering it, but it be like cheap. You know what I'm saying? They always say what you get, like, China is known for knockoffs and shit. So, and these nations are going to have to come together and cook. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 16, verse 14. It says, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles which go forth unto the kings of the earth and the whole world to gather them to the battle of that great day of the Most High Almighty. So they're the spirits of the devil working miracles. When it comes to this man's technology, even the concept of the RFID microchip, being able to bag your whole groceries up and just walk out the store and shit, and that's just remotely build and everything. That's all that's like some miraculous stuff right there, right? On the left hand side, you know what I'm saying? So you got weapons, and all of a sudden they got heart attack guns. What you gonna do against that? You got a gun, you shoot it, now you have a heart attack, cardiac arrest. So you can't do shit against that, and there's a reason behind that too. The Lord is doing that. The Most High gave these devils these weapons, all right, that they're gonna be so, it makes them proud. The scriptures tell you that he lifted up himself in his brigandine. Like brigandine is like chainmail, like defense. He's proud of that. So the Most High is giving them all these different weapons and antimatter guns and whatever, some sci-fi shit, all right, to lift up his pride, that he may fight against Yahushua and think he got a chance. Daniel 12:4 says, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. Right? So knowledge is going to be increased. Always say it. To further technology is to further prophecy. The two go hand in hand. All right. Some of the things that we read about, this place has to be at a certain place on the technological level. All right. The thermonuclear destruction missiles that's able to completely melt shit to the elements. Hey, well, you're gonna have to be scientifically advanced and technologically advanced to do things like that. So the Most High is allowing this stuff to move. The RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, which is you take it, you're done. You're not a part of the elect if you take the microchip. No matter what these Israelite camps are telling you, that is the mark of the beast. Okay, I'm saying these other Israelite camps are telling you that is the mark of the beast. You take that, you can't make it. Okay. Alright, Salakia. Yep, where was I? Daniel 12:4, it says, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. Yeah, so knowledge has been increasing, and hey, you know what? You know what's crazy too? It's spiritual, because as this devil increases on the left hand side in terms of knowledge, guess what? The Most High's right hand, his prophets, we're increasing in spiritual knowledge, and that's really the counteraction. That's really the counter. The 2 Corinthians 7:4 says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. Right? We don't have any carnal weapons. You know what I'm saying? We, you might own, you might have a license firearm that you might use, you know, to protect yourself for home invasion or whatever. But that's as far as it goes, really. You know what I'm saying? We're not really, and I'm talking about Jake as a whole. You know, Jake is the form of all things, but you don't really see Jake's spirit really into like crafting the next, you know, crazy weapon or some shit like that. That's the Edomites. That's the German scientists, the wise men of Teman. That's what the Most High got their mind focused on. Our people, Jake don't really get into that shit, but the elect of our people, the elites of our people, on the right hand, we're more locked into the scriptures and being further in that, because we know that's what's going to deliver us. All right, we understand that the Romans 13, that the Most High set this man up to be in the position he's in, all right, and to fight against him is literally like fighting against the Most High at this point. So can't win that battle. All right, it says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds. Right, so that's how we pull down these strongholds, by teaching and being spiritual and making our people aware of what's to come, preparing our people for the battle. And the only way we could prep you for what's to come is to build up your faith. Okay, we can't tell you what route to take, where to hide, what weapon to buy, we could give particular advice. Hey, it's good to be in shape. You might need to run. Just keep your body up to date. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with throwing a little something to the side. But look, shit could kick in you. Because I remember, what was that dude that used to be he had the Doomsday bag? He was selling Doomsday bags. But what if Doomsday come and you're not close to the bag? You know what I'm saying? So that shit is okay, but you know, anything could kick and you might not necessarily be around your little bunker or shelter you have. You know, all you're gonna have is the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of the scriptures and faith. You know, and that's what we operate by, something that the so-called white man wasn't blessed with. You know, because faith is a gift, pursuant to the book of Ephesians 2:8, and that's what the fuck is gonna get us out of here. That's what's gonna deliver us, whether we die with faith here on earth or be delivered on the chariots. As long as you go out with faith in either scenario, all right, and hold fast to this truth to the end, guess what? You've made it. You know what I'm saying? You've made it. All right, your spirit has been delivered. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushua, Ba'Hashem Chakodash, that belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Zadakim, that did this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom.